Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Daily Carry Podcast, episode number 27 today. And Micah just pulled out his piece, and that is not brandishing. You know why?
Do I know why?
Yeah, you know why?
Oh, I absolutely know why.
Why?
Because I didn't point it at you.
I was going to say,
aside from that,
I was going to say because we're on private property.
private property, and you can do what you want on private property.
Pretty much anything that you want.
For the most part. I also brought Buford with me. There's a story I'm going to share with you today that you didn't know was coming.
That is brandishing.
Is that brandishing?
No, I'm just joking. You better conceal that. That doesn't look like it'd be very comfortable to conceal, though.
No, it sits in my truck.
That's a pretty nice stick there. Did you recently spray paint that? Was that spray painted the first time you brought it on?
I have three, one per vehicle.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so Buford the first, second, and third. It's kind of like Don Heyman the first, second. No, this one is my truck, or my Jeep one, and there's a different one in the truck. But here's the story behind it real quick. So Jane and I, yesterday, we walk out of the garage. We're going to go to Dos Amigos, one of my favorite Mexican local restaurants, because Jana wanted guacamole tostadas or something. I don't know. But we walk out of the garage, turn the corner, go to get in the Jeep, and in the corner of the garage, snake.
Whoa.
Right there. They're only 2-footers, bull snakes. Jana loves snakes. She's ready to pick them up and pet them. And I'm like, well, there's 2 bull snakes. There's something else. We go to dinner, come home, get out of the Jeep, have totally forgotten about the snakes. Totally forgot about them. Go to pull into the garage, hit the button, open it up. Guess what's sitting in the middle of the floor?
Probably a rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake. So we went live, and he only had 4 rattles. He wasn't big.
Whoa.
Maybe 3 feet.
But here's the thing, though. You know that the small ones are the ones that are the most dangerous, right?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
They can't control how much venom they secrete yet while their venom glands are still developing. Yeah.
Which is a perfect spin on today's society of why we should not be taking kids and making them make decisions on their bodies, because they're too freaking young to make those decisions because they can't control their thought process. But no, yeah, there was a rattlesnake, and Jana didn't know that, by the way. She's hearing it for the first time right now. So she got out and walked in.
She's not hearing it for the first time.
Oh, no, she is. We did not. She honestly has no idea that this happened. So she went inside.
You're missing the joke.
I did. Tell it to me.
The girls on the podcast, when they were here, they very obviously, very faithfully listened to every single episode.
They hinge on every word.
So what are the chances they're listening to this right now?
Pretty slim. Or highly. No, she did. She went into the house because she had Jana bakes, and she had discard stuff, whatever, however you do the sourdough, and she had to turn it. And there's like a time limit on this stuff, and I guess it's pretty serious. And so she went running into the house to do it because we had been gone too long. And I went to pull the Jeep in, and there it was. It was sitting in the middle of the floor. And I'm like, well, no wonder we had bull snakes sitting outside. Mike Yost is listening to this. He's terrified of snakes.
Ooh.
Oh, dude, he would have been climbing on the top of the Jeep with a scatter gun. He would have been shooting a shotgun in my garage. I went over with a shovel, pinned it down, smacked it in the head.
Yep.
All done.
Yep. We, the very first rattlesnake that we dealt with, I was probably like 9, maybe 10. It was in the garage. Same thing. They like garages for some reason,
garages.
apparently. But shot it in the head with a pellet gun, and then used the shovel. And it's crazy, dude. It'll freak you out. Like, if you've never seen it before, like, they keep squirming around, and, like, their head will keep moving and stuff. It's, like,
I actually
very
have,
strange.
I've got I'm going to tell it. All right. June of 2000, I moved to Douglas County, Colorado from Richland County, South Carolina. Started the sheriff's department. I've been on the road about 7.5 minutes. I couldn't even tell you the main roads in the county. Dispatched to a snake in the garage call, and I get on the radio, and I'm like, hey, just call animal control. I don't know what I'm talking about. And quickly, my field training officer, who I actually had more street experience, but when you come from one department to another, you got to learn policy and procedure. Well, clearly, I didn't know the policy out here, because in South Carolina, you called animal control for a snake. We had big snakes down there, very common. Well, out here, they have big snakes, rattlesnakes. But animal control here in Douglas County only deals with dogs and cats, essentially. Like, they really don't even come out for, like, wildlife.
Wow.
I didn't know that. So I opened my mouth up on the airwaves for everybody to listen to, and sounded pretty stupid because immediately everybody click, 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 and mocked me on the radio. And then my FTO says, yeah, we handle the snake calls. And he goes, however, I don't do snakes. All right. So we get to this lady's house. So it's over in Highlands Ranch. Quick story. Pull up. 5 kids are sitting on top of a minivan. She is sitting in the driver's seat with the window down. Garage door is shut. And she says, I'm going to open the garage door. It's on the stairs going into the house. She goes, it's big. And I went, I'll be honest. I was a little cynical in my head. I'm like, a snake is always big to people that are afraid of snakes.
Yeah.
She opens the garage door, and it's coiled. And I see it. And I've got a gun. I've got an asp. And I've got a pair of hands.
What's an asp?
It's Buford, made of metal, but it starts
Oh, so it's like
this
a
long
nightstick, right?
and when you pop it out, it goes to like 32 inches.
Oh, you're talking about like a collapsible baton.
Yeah, an asp.
I never heard it called an asp before.
You've learned, in the last 2 podcasts, you've learned a couple things. You learned about a dog.
In the last 27, including this one today, in the last 27 episodes, I've learned a lot.
Dude, I think I learned more just in the episodes with our wives than the other 26 episodes combined. Oh, I love my wife. Anyway, snake sitting there, and I look at the lady who's in the van, who's like not getting out, 30 feet away, and I said, do you have a shovel in the garage? She goes, yep, it's over in the corner. I go over in the corner, get the shovel, and I walk up, and as I'm getting closer, I'm going, man, that actually is a big snake, like notably big. And then I hear that, and it's up. Its head, it's up. It was 0 embellishment, 2.5 inches in diameter.
Whoa.
Big snake. It was big. 5.5 feet. So get it, hit it with the shovel, smack it with the asp, halfway unconscious it, and then I drag it kind of over to the edge of the garage, and I cut 85% of its head off with the shovel. Bam, 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 bam. And it goes, blip. It moves for a second, and it goes limp. There's a Home Depot bucket over in the corner of the garage. I empty it out. I pick the snake up with the shovel, put it in the Home Depot bucket. It's not moving, ain't doing a thing. I mean, I pick it up, it's limp. Kids are like, yeah. I'm like everybody's hero. The mother looks like she's going to pass out. She's like, will you check the house? Will you clear the house? Will you, so we're checking for any other snakes. She's convinced there's a herd of snakes or whatever a grouping of snakes is.
I don't know if that's the thing.
Is it a herd?
A pod?
Pod? Is it a pod?
A nest?
A nest? Nest. That sounds right. Nest of snakes?
I have
Snake
no
nest?
idea.
I don't know either. I'm an idiot. So we check for snakes. There's no more snakes. And if there was, I wouldn't. Whatever. So we take the bucket. I pick it up with my hand. Now, this is how close I am to this snake. It's in the bucket. This is my hand. And it looks lifeless as it can possibly be. Head is, when I say 80% off, I mean like literally head over here, rest of the snake going this way. I put it in the trunk of the patrol car, and we're just going to go to the closest field, dump it out. My partner, who's pale white, sitting inside the car, terrified of snakes. That's because he was state patrol, by the way. Transferred from state patrol of his sheriff's department, decided to become an actual cop. Sorry, state guys.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. So we get to the field, pop the trunk. I go to the back of the thing. There's no snake in the bucket.
Whoa.
You know where he was? He was coiled around the perimeter of the car. Or not coiled, but wrapped around the perimeter of the trunk of the car. And he is looking at me with one good eye, and he is really, really mad. And now I have no shovel.
Mm-hmm.
I got an asp, and I have one very ticked off 5-foot-long rattlesnake. To which I think Jeff actually did pass out for a moment in the car. I think he actually got to where he fell over in the car because I saw him go down in the seat. So either he was hiding or he passed out. I don't know. I reach in with the asp, and the snake clamps the asp with his teeth. And he holds onto it, and I drag him out of the car, and then I shoot him. Twice. just to be sure. True story. Yeah, that was June of 2000. I'm still telling that story 25 years later because I've only got 2 snake stories from out here. I mean, like where I killed, like dangerous, like we're going to kill me snakes, and that was one of them. Poor Jeff was never the same after that. He would, I'm telling you, dude, like there is, when you have a legitimate fear, I met a dude yesterday who had a fear of claustrophobia. And he freaks out, like literally goes into an anxiety attack. He's a big, strong guy, but he can't do confined spaces. Mm-hmm. And we were in our new building and we were moving something, and he just had to get up like in this air duct thing for like 15 seconds to pull this thing out. He passed out yesterday.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like literally I had to grab him and revive him. He just freaked out. So phobias are real. I didn't like Jeff's snake phobia was a real deal. So anyway, there you go. There's my story.
Jeff's snake phobia.
I'm not afraid of snakes, not even in the least. My wife literally loves them. She just thinks they're the coolest things ever. But I guess some people are terrified, Mike.
They are some interesting little things, man. And, there's a reason why there's like the stories and stuff comes out about hydras. You cut one head off, another one grows out. I'm convinced that that's because
it's
stories like you just now said. Well, yeah, that too. But it's stories like you just told. Like I remember whenever we decapitated that snake in my dad's garage, and it's just still moving around. It's still like biting. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, the head was moving.
Weird. And then yours apparently just comes back to life. So that's interesting.
You know what was crazy is it did move. Honestly, it moved for, I don't know, 90 seconds. I mean, the body was moving and stuff. Like I just thought it was like just anybody that goes into shock. I mean, why would a snake be any different? He just got his head 3/4 cut off. But it went limp. Like it literally looked lifeless. Like the eyes looked dead, everything. And to your point, yeah. I mean, dude, it was wrapped around the trunk of the car. Crazy. Even I jumped when that happened because I looked in the bucket and I'm like, oh, it fell out of the bucket. But like the bucket was upright. I'm like, well, that's impossible. It literally crawled out of the bucket.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
Well, I heard, and the whole reason that I even know about smaller snakes being the ones that are the more dangerous ones, not having the development in their venom glands, is because I heard a sermon when I was young. It was a powerful sermon that stuck with me clearly to this day because it still stays kind of at the top of the brain. But the sermon was, be careful of the little things. And it was awesome, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure that anybody listening and you sitting here, you can already start to use some deductive reasoning as to what that was for. But it is, it's the little things that end up killing you. It's the little things. If you just act like that just because it's small, it's not dangerous. It's the little things. We talked about a couple episodes ago, habits. We talked about addictions. And most of the time, starts small. It just starts little thing. Oh, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, boundary probing.
It's exactly right. Boundary probing.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they call certain drugs gateway drugs.
Yep.
It's little things.
I'll end my snake thing on this. So have you heard, somebody corrected me on this online. They said it's not true. And then I had like 50 other people say yes. Did you hear that down in Texas, rattlesnakes are being born without rattles? They're adapting because the feral pigs are so aggressive that they eat the snakes. That the rattle on the rattlesnake was the giveaway, and the rattles have been adapting over the years, and they're now being born without rattles. Have you heard that?
I have not heard that.
I want somebody from Texas who's a legitimate snake expert to comment on the podcast, because I said that about a year ago to somebody, and they're like, no, that's garbage. It's one of those old urban legend kind of things. It's been going around forever. And then I started looking into it, and it seems to me like there's more truth than there is fallacy in it.
Well, I'm doing a quick little chat GPT.
Which knows everything.
Well, it knows more than me most of the time. So it says that baby rattlesnakes are born without fully formed rattles. So
it's kind of half true.
It says that rattlesnakes emerge with just a button, a small cap at the end of their tail. The initial button is not capable of producing a rattling sound, it says. So I don't know that it...
I'm going to dig more into it. Not because it's a huge topic, but I just thought that was very interesting, because if you've ever hunted the feral pigs, I would rather face a rattlesnake any day of the week that ends in Y than a group of those pigs.
Yeah.
Those things are crazy dangerous.
Oh yeah. Have you seen them using catch dogs to hunt those things?
No, we shot them. We shot them out of a chopper down there.
Oh, well, that's
went
pretty cool.
We went night hunting.
That's pretty
I only
cool.
did it once, but it was epically cool. Like you're on the skid with a cable. You're like dangling out. 300
cool.
blackout with nods.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that sounds like quite an adventure.
Maybe the coolest thing I've maybe ever done with a gun.
So there's specific dogs. In fact, the breed that I have, Zion, American Bulldog, Zion, and Denali was American Bulldog as well. There are certain breeds that they use as catch dogs. American Bulldog's one of them. I know that they use, I think maybe Dogo Argentinos. Those are ones that were like specifically bred. They took like fighting dogs and all kinds of different dogs and kind of bred certain traits that they wanted out of these dogs. But there's dogs that they use that are catch dogs. So they'll have like a spotter dog, and sometimes they'll run the spotter dogs and the catch dogs together. Like the dog will just basically get on the scent of the hog. Because some of these dogs, like catch dogs, like American Bulldog, sometimes they don't have the best nose.
Okay.
So they, in like the case of a Dogo Argentina, they bred specifically dogs with dogs to get what they wanted, to where they were kind of putting together the ideal traits, right? So they'll use some dogs that just, they're a full package. They can do it all. Or they'll use some dogs that they do one thing well, they do the others, they do other things well. Sometimes they have the spotter dog like just sitting on the hood of the truck, and then once they get a whiff, they get a scent of the pigs, then they'll start barking. They're pointing in their direction. They let the catch dogs go. The catch dogs go. Sometimes the spotter dog will go and lead the catch dogs, and then those catch dogs go and they pin the hog. And it's crazy. You got to watch some of these videos online. It's insane.
That sounds actually very cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. Whole reason I even like got into it is whenever, so I've had Zion, I've had my American Bulldog since I was a teenager. Like he's been with me since I was like 17 or 18. So being a teenager, I just think I got the coolest dog in the world. So I'm just, of course, researching everything I can. Like, what are American Bulldogs good for? And
taking guns out of people's hands without biting them.
That is true. That is true. We showed that video on the last episode. That is cool.
So cool.
Zion's a good dog, man. So well trained. But I really wanted to know. Like I was researching what do these dogs do? What are they good at? And I really wanted to know. Well, has any of them been trained to hunt successfully? Because I'm a hunter, as anybody listening knows, if you listen to the podcast. So not just the big game, I love the bird hunt. So I was wondering, man, I wonder if I could train him to bird hunt. And my experience with that was not so fortunate. He'll bring the bird back half eaten. So there's that. Not
full
quite.
gun, no bite of hand, bird half gone.
But what I did find out when I was researching this is that they are very commonly used as catch dogs for pig hunting, which is cool. And it started getting me to watch and look up some of these videos of them doing that. And it's the coolest thing ever. And they'll run them in packs. So it's not like they're just sending one dog after a pig.
Yeah.
But they learn very quickly. It's a pack mentality. That's what dogs do.
Yeah.
And they'll learn their job very quickly. And then they'll pin down this pig. It's not like they kill the pig. They pin the pig down, then the hunter goes up, finishes it, gets the job done.
Oh, I love stuff like this. Jared and I, we thrive on kind of the same thing. Jared's an outdoor hunter. I hunted men. I've never hunted an animal before in my life until
I think you did hunt some animals. Let's be honest.
No,
it's some dirty, filthy animals.
There's a couple. Yeah, so good movie quote. I mean, I've been hunting, but I'm not you. Like I don't go. I'm going to go buy a bow, and I'm going to go out in the woods.
Well, not till now.
Well, I'm going to get a bow. I don't know if I'm going to hunt. I'm going to go hunt those targets that Kyle has because they don't move on his property. But I mean, like you're a really good shot. Like I don't need to be a hunter to watch you shoot and go, holy cow, like you really know what you're doing. And you guys were really jamming this thing the other day. I was very impressed because you guys were giving each other crap. And I'm like, I'd have been happy to hit the animal. And you guys are almost arrow and arrow at 40, 50, 60 yards. I'm like, that was incredible. So I say that to say this, you're into it, you do it, you love it. You said the only way you've ever taken
big game
is with a bow. Like that's a pretty amazing thing to me because anybody can shoot a rifle. Yeah. Treat them like literally train a monkey to shoot a rifle. Like so, a bow is legit to me. It's
kind
far
of a
more
scary thought.
Well,
A monkey with a rifle.
Hey,
Have you seen the
monkeys-
video of the monkey shooting the AK-47?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Monkey went to space. Monkey's done test car crashes. I mean, monkeys, they're diverse. So when you're out there and you're doing your thing and you're hunting, I mean, there's windage, there's all these things that come into play, right? I was thinking about you the other day because the only thing I've ever really done is I did the shooting down on the ground and we were on ATVs and we chased them around. And the one night I got to go up for it was like an hour. We went up. There's 3 of us in this chopper. We got to hunt. And I got a couple pigs.
So you did hunt animals.
No, I shot them and somebody else cooked them. I didn't I wasn't going out on the hunt. But here's something that happened. It was so cool. This was epically cool. First of all, we're in Texas. So that we were in one part of Texas on the helicopter hunt, and then we had a business thing that was going on over in this little community called Jacksboro. And the guy that had the property, he's on 26,000 acres. And of this 26,000 acres, there's a wind farm, there's some oil, and he's got exotics on like 4,000 acres. So he brings in these exotics. Guys come in from all over the place, even out of country, to hunt on his property, which is really cool. The adjacent land across the street, this gal owns, is 7,800 acres, and hers is just wild. It's wide open. There's just whatever's over there. That's where all these pigs are. I did not know this. Somebody said it. I'm like, that is crap. Never heard of such a thing. They have jaguars, or I'm sorry, black cats. What are the black cats?
Panthers?
Panthers.
Yeah.
In Texas. Did you know that?
No.
Panthers.
Well, I do know that there's a whole bunch of a variety of wildlife because people have brought them in as pets. Sometimes they escape, and then sometimes just populations build of random species in Texas. I've heard that.
Yeah, so any of the guys that were part of this endeavor listening, Barty and anybody else that are down there, they tell me, is to keep an eye out. He goes, when you're out riding an ATV, keep an eye out for panthers. Okay, whatever. We're literally out. Here goes the pigs. They take off. And up in this tree, draped over, sleeping like a sloth, is a black panther. Just sleeping in a tree. Had to have been a 100-pound cat, I'm guessing. 90 to 100 pounds. Big is a big cat.
Mm-hmm.
I see him, and they said there's 2 of them that are out here on this property that hunt this property, the 7,800 acres. At night, we were out, and we had some FLIR. Dude, those cats would hunt those pigs.
Yeah.
Chase them down, get them, grab them by the nape of the neck, the small ones. They would only go after the little ones, and they take off running with them. You would sit there and watch it on FLIR.
That's crazy.
One of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life.
Man.
It was a panther. I'm like, I didn't even know there were. I'm like, that's how dumb I am. I'm like, Isn't that like an African thing or something? And like, no, idiot. Like, there's panthers here. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I saw it.
I don't think that panthers are a naturally local species in Texas.
I don't know what I don't. I just know what I saw, and it was awesome.
I don't know either. I'm just assuming that it was probably somebody brought some panthers.
It may have been, and maybe the guy next door brought him, and it jumped over the fence at some point. I don't know, but it was just so cool to be literally riding an ATV, 18, 20 feet off the ground, is a panther sleeping in a tree. Like, that's just one of those things you just never forget.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in Texas.
That's cool.
It was cool.
Yeah,
it was cool.
That is cool. And I think I don't know. Maybe it makes sense. Maybe a couple more property owners need to bring some panthers in.
Well, we do it with goats
deal with
here.
the hogs,
goats and weeds.
Yeah, goats take care of the weeds.
Yeah,
here.
they have guys that
naturally mow your lawn.
Yeah, they have. There's like a dude out here that has like 300 of them. Have you seen him in Castle Rock?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Uh-huh.
He just drops them off, fences them in, and says, "Yeah, go to town," and they come back and the field's gone the next day.
Yeah, and he charges good money for that.
I bet he does.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
That's a great business model.
Oh yeah, just drop some goats off, let them mow your lawn.
Yeah,
get
come
your
back
paycheck
and they
go
crawl,
to the next one.
Yeah, they crawl into the truck on their own. You don't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
You don't even have to feed them.
I mean, talking about hunting, we're still in season, and I'm really trying hard to get an elk this year. Hopefully, it happens. Doing all the right things, I think.
Yep.
I think I'm learning. This is my first year to ever hunt private property, so that is definitely a little bit different than I'm used to. I'm actually having to learn how to figure out how to call them and whenever you're in public land, you just call as soon as you hear a response, you cut the distance between you and them, and you're able to kind of let there be a pursuit that way. For this, I'm really largely just having to try to run some different strategies to get them to come in and jump the fence.
I had an epiphany today. So when you said, I asked you if you got anything, you're like, no, they're right there. I can't get them to come onto the property. Do you think it's because Kyle has 300 chickens?
What?
The chicken farm.
What about the chickens?
Do you think the chickens potentially send off like a scent or something that makes the elk go no? Because, I mean, like animals are super, I mean, they're scent oriented, right? Like a dog tracks. I mean, in an elk, I mean, they can pick out a human being from 6 miles away. Do you think that's possible? I was just thinking about that
I
today.
don't think that the chickens so much, the dogs a little bit, but even the dogs, they're used to the dogs because these elk they just roam. Like, it's the same herd. It's the same populace that I used to live right here in this neighborhood, Montaigne, and the elk would literally hang out in the neighborhood every day. They still do. And it's in the neighborhood.
Keep going.
Right? But there's dogs everywhere. There's people everywhere. These are the same elk that we're talking about. It's almost like become a little bit of an Estes Park over here in this area of Castle Rock, where the elk just don't really care that much. They just hang out and do what they want. But what I know for a fact is, well, first of all, there was one morning so far where we actually called a bull in, and it actually came in onto Kyle's property, but it just wasn't. It was a pretty big bull. It was probably a small 6x6, but I've seen the bulls in the area. I know that if I wait, there's a pretty good chance that I'm going to be able to get one that's a little bit bigger. So I passed on him. So they're coming onto his property, and not only that, I know because there's beds, there's scat, there's tracks. Every day, it's fresh. Elk are going through his property all the time. Now, here's a theory that I do have. They may be going through there at nighttime whenever it's dark. Why would that be? Well, they put their dogs away at nighttime. Mm-hmm. So I do think that if anything, that the dogs might be more so pushing them onto the neighboring property. But all the neighbors have dogs too. So it's kind of hard to tell. I also think that they might just be naturally at nighttime going up into where it's the more wooded area and then kind of going down, and then maybe they're hillside on his neighbor's property most of the day, because every single morning they bugle from the exact same location. And it's right on the other side of the fence.
I had no theory behind it other than he's just got a bunch of chickens, and I can hear a rooster, hackling or something, and animals are skittish of other animals. So I don't know. Can you see those elk?
Mm-hmm.
So this is Jennifer posted this yesterday on Facebook. She's a friend of ours from church. She's got 5 elk on her driveway. She pulled in she couldn't even get up the driveway. And I'm like, Jared should have a tag in Castle Pines, because that's where it was at.
As long as it's on the east side of I-25.
No, this was Castle Pines proper. But yeah, she's like, and I said, did you pet him? And she said, no, you're an idiot. I know.
Now, let me ask you this. Was that all just cows, or was there a bull with them? This is important. This is important. And stay with us, listeners. There's a point to be made here. The video looked like it was just cows. And this is important to point out because
1, 2, 3, 4 cows.
Cows. So here's the thing. Right now, I don't think that they've gone into rut. What does that mean? Well, when they go into rut, that's whenever they're in full swing mating. Right now, that's really the benefit, and that's the advantage that we have hunting in bow season. We get the whole month of September to hunt. It's not just a week that we have to hunt like it is like with rifle seasons. But we have a whole month to be able to hunt. But it's usually at some point in September that they go into the rut. When is that going to happen? Well, last year I can tell you that they really didn't go hard into rut until like first, second week of October.
Is that RUT, rut?
Yeah, rut. So I think that here's the thing. There's this whole biological study, and I'm going to sound like an idiot because I don't know all the intricate details, but from what I understand, what triggers them to go into the rut, it has nothing to do with the bulls. It's all the cows. The cows go into rut, and that's basically when they go into heat. And they go into heat, there's this like sensor or something in their eye, and it's the amount of daylight that gets put into their eye, something like that. And so it's as the season changes, some kind of a receiver or a gland sense something in the eye that kicks them into heat, kicks them into rut. I think that it has largely to do with how much light goes in, and it's kind of the weather. There's different things involved for sure. But that there was this morning that the weather clearly shifted. And it was a lot colder that morning than it has been the rest of this month so far. That was just a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And as we had called, that was the morning that we called that one in, actually. That one came in, and I passed on him. Well, we were leaving. They were bugling just on the other side of the fence as usual, and They weren't coming in. So we left that morning, and as we're leaving, we see on the side of the road this massive elk, massive, huge bull. And so I kind of slam on the brakes, turn around to go look at him again because he was just, no doubt, like the kind of a bull that takes over the area. And you know that all the elk in this area is his offspring.
Yeah.
So sure enough, as we're turning around, we're pulling back, this bull chases a cow across the street. So I'm thinking, oh, I guess it's maybe starting to heat up a little bit, starting to go into rut. And they're just running full sprint. It was crazy. And I have video of it. I think I showed it to you, of him running across this field. And then after that, a little calf runs across the street and is chasing his mom. And so I think that it was starting to heat up, but I still think that we're not quite in full-fledged, full rut. Right now, that if anything, they've just kind of been in and out, kind of soft rutting, but not really rutting. And I think that if the timing is right, hopefully, instead of just being responsive to calls like they have been, because every morning they're bugling, man. Every morning they'll bugle for 2 hours with me every single morning. There's not been a single morning that I've hunted where they're not bugling, which is a really good sign. Anybody who's been bow hunting for any length of time, they can tell you that it usually doesn't happen that way. You usually have several days where it's like, oh man, where'd the elk go? Or where do I find them?
They're in her driveway.
They're in her driveway, yeah. But the hope is that whenever they go into rut, they don't just become responsive, but they become reactive. So not only will they respond, but they'll kind of get in this little bit of a frenzy where it's like, oh, there's a cow, I'm going in, let's do this. Or they'll want to fight, right? They'll hear a bugle, and they're like, all right, it's go time.
Wow.
I'm going to go fight this bull away from my cows, right?
This is fascinating because I know nothing about it, so I just kind of hinge on your every word. I know I brought this up in a previous podcast. It is weird because when you drive into Estes Park, there's literally 50, 80, 100 of them just walking around. They'll walk right down the middle of the street.
Yeah.
But you'll sit out in the middle of a field bugling, trying to get them to move 50 feet to come towards you to get on the other side of the property line, and you're out there for days.
Yeah.
Like that is just, it's surreal to me to think about it that way. It just is, because it's like they're so in your face when you go to an Estes Park or Jennifer's driveway.
Yeah.
And I see them all the time. I mean, if you go over off Happy Canyon, over behind Dave Lineker's place, coming down the hill, as soon as you turn 25 to Happy Canyon heading west, his business is on the left side. Dude.
Tons of elk over there.
My gosh. Yeah. I stood over there, it was 2 weeks ago probably. And as I was driving down and I had to wait for him to cross the roadway. And it looked like a parade. That's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
There had, I mean, with zero embellishment, I bet there was 50.
Yeah.
And they just went across the road.
Here's the thing. Here's my theory. Now, I'm not going to act like I know what I'm talking about. I'm just going to give my theory and my opinion. We're seeing areas like this become way more populated with elk. And the reason for that is because the majority of all the land here, even like within the general, until you really get to the foothills, you don't really get to national forests until you're in the mountains, right?
Yeah.
So all the property over here is private property. And you've got people who have been living here for a very, very long time. And I mean, even up by Kyle's house, like the average age over there with all those neighbors is like in their 80s.
Yeah.
So we've got people who have been living here for a long time. So we've got now this kind of turnover where we've got people who are kind of too old to hunt the population. And then whenever they go to sell their house, well, property values and all that stuff has gone crazy. So the people who are actually coming here to move are people with money. A lot of California transplants, a lot of people who they probably have never elk hunted before. There is elk hunting in California, believe it. I don't know if you knew that or not, but there is. But a lot of people don't hunt. It's not there's thankfully it's becoming more popular with people that are influencing like Cameron Haynes and Joe Rogan and all that. So there's a healthy amount of people that are starting to pick it up and starting to be interested in it. But there's a lot, for the large part, like whenever you're going to have people with a lot of money come buy property, a lot of them aren't hunters. They're just buying the property and they're going to enjoy living there. And so you've got a lot of people who have private property, and you've got this elk population that's growing, and it's not being hunted. And so we're not at Woodland Park level by any stretch, but at Woodland Park, they're also protected. Like, you're not going to get a tag to hunt at, not Woodland Park, sorry, Estes Park.
Estes Park, yeah.
Estes Park is to a point of where it's like almost unnatural.
Well, it's a sanctuary city.
It's like the elk know, and that's not like they know. They do know.
Yeah,
they know. And they have this, I think it's kind of been passed down where we're at the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
These people are just here to serve us, pet us, whatever. You know, you see all those videos of those tourists always trying to get way too close to them. There's this one bull in Estes Park that they've called his name is Split 5. He is just massive.
Yeah, you've talked about
He's
him.
the unit, dude. He's the unit up there. And the videos that will go viral of Estes Park elk up there is a lot of the time it's Split 5. And Split 5 is that kind of bull that I just described where you know that he is the bull in the area that is the dominant. And so the videos that you'll see that'll go viral usually is like Split 5 fighting other bulls, fighting the cows away. Those videos and the bugling, all that, it's happening whenever they're usually at least somewhat in rut. So the weird thing about rut is that it can kind of be soft and it can kind of be in and out and it can start and then it can stop and then it can start again and it can be full swing. It's kind of a thing that's very hard to predict. You don't really know. Like you always hear, you'll hear hunters saying, "Are they in rut? Are they rutting up there? Are they rutting?" It's like, not very hard. They're just kind of rutting soft. They're responding, but they're not really coming into anything, and it's not in full swing. And that's because the rut is this thing that, like, even being studied by biologists and all this, there's not a whole lot that can be explained as to why and how to predict it. It just happens when it happens, kind of a thing.
Well, it's because they're, like, arguably, I think outside of a moose, the most elusive animal on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you'll be standing there staring at one. You'll turn to your left and you'll turn back and he'll be gone.
Oh, yeah.
You don't hear it. You don't see it. It's like they just blend right into the trees and there's just nothing. I don't know how many times. I'm not a hunter, but I've been standing by elk and turned and there I'm just like,
yeah.
Where'd it go?
Here's what I will say. I will say that, and by the way, if you're listening and if you're watching online, I just panned to the camera. We've got a class going in the back. So if you hear a little noise, it's okay. We just got some guys behind us going after it. So don't mind them. But what I will say is you learn very quickly as you're elk hunting and you're getting better at it and you're really being a student of it. You actually can hear elk. You can hear them.
Oh, is that right?
Here's the thing. Whenever you're in the woods, until you really teach yourself to kind of be listening for it, you don't really think about it because we're in the woods. We're in the busy woods, right? You hear squirrels chipping away and you hear birds and all this stuff. But what you learn very quickly, especially bow hunting elk, is there's what we call a locator bugle. Whenever we bugle in a certain way that is not to fight a bull, it's not to challenge a bull, it's not to do anything other than here's my location bugle, and it's to hopefully get other bulls to sound off their location. You learn very quickly that once you've let that bugle, that location bugle go, it has to be dead silence. You can't have your buddy behind you eating some chips. You can't be moving around, moving your backpack. Like even if you're just moving in general at all, even if you're just like turning and listening, that sound is going to cover up the sound from hearing the bugle, let alone something walking in the woods. But whenever you're dead silent, standing still, dead silent, and you really listen and you train yourself to know the difference between a squirrel dropping a nut on the floor versus a 700-pound animal stepping on a branch and breaking it.
Sure.
You really start to train yourself to be like hyper aware of, oh, that could probably be an elk. And then, of course, whenever you hear the bugle, you know that's an elk. And there will certainly be times, no matter how experienced of a hunter you are, you start to get like bugle frenzy. You start to get like this phantom bugle where you like, oh, I think that was a bull. And then my wife's just like, you're crazy. Yeah. And I'm like, no, that was definitely a bull. But then there's times where you hear it's just like undeniably like, yeah, for sure. And I've got video after video this season right now on my phone, just videoing and just bugle after bugle. They have been screaming, man, every morning.
Is it frustrating when you hear it and they're not coming?
Oh, yeah. And here's the thing. And I've got video even with Alex being up there with me where we're just like excited because we can hear audibly, you can hear the difference where it's like, oh, he's coming in. He's coming in. And they'll come in. It's like they stop short at the fence and then they'll just bugle for an hour from there and never go any further.
Does he bugle in Russian?
I don't
Alex?
know. It's a good question.
I mean, you've heard him bugle.
Have to ask.
I mean, I
haven't heard him bugle. He hasn't bugled yet. No.
Oh.
He's learning the ropes.
Dude.
He's learning the ropes. Here's the thing. I always tell anybody who's hunting with me for the first season, if you're going to do any calling, you're going to be using training wheels. So we use the diaphragm calls. It's a reed you put in your mouth. It takes a little bit of practice. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it does take practice. So they have these devices that make it way easier. It's just they call it like an easy reed or a fast bugle, something like that, and it just pops onto the end of the bugle, and it makes it to where it's like almost like a trumpet, and it makes it to where you can make elk noises pretty easy. And then they also have these devices that you just use with your hand. They call it a hoochie mama, and you just squeeze it, and it makes like a cow call. And so I'll
it's
just
a hoochie mama, and you just squeeze it, and it makes a cow call. That
Yes.
will go down into history as maybe the greatest line of this podcast ever.
So the first time that my wife went elk hunting with me, that's what I said. Here you go. Here's the hoochie
Here's
mama.
your hoochie mama. Just squeeze it.
Here's your hoochie mama.
Oh my gosh. We just went. So here's how dumb I am. And I've said it probably 4 times in the podcast in different references. I'm listening to Bill Burr, the comedian, one night, background noise. Too many F-bombs, Bill, but you are funny because he always goes to reality. He was talking about Duck Dynasty and how they developed their duck call. And he's like, look, man, he goes, I don't know anything about duck calls. He goes, but I'm listening to a duck call one day. It's like, wah, 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 wah. And he goes, and then here's another guy and goes, wah, 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 wah. And he goes, and then Duck Dynasty comes out and it goes, wah, 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 wah. And they make $1 billion.
That's funny.
I was like, oh, that's great. So all I could picture is you out there in the woods doing your thing with your reed in your mouth and then I picture Eric coming over with the plastic one. You got the wood. I don't know the difference in any of them. It's just so funny to watch because I'm like, somebody's going to corner the market somewhere, somehow.
Oh, they already
because everybody
have.
tries, right?
They already have.
Everybody's created the next best thing. But that duck call scenario that Bill is talking is so funny because he's just like when he goes to the wah wah wah, they make $1 billion.
Elk noises are elk noises. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's what I've learned in my 13 years now of elk hunting. 13 years. I've been doing elk hunting for almost as long as I've been doing jiu-jitsu. It was literally like a year after starting jiu-jitsu that I did my first bow hunting season. And what I've learned is, like I just said, elk noises are elk noises. I have heard elk respond to some of the most absolutely atrocious bugles. Like I've let out a bugle and been like, you idiot, what was that? And then boom, it sounds off. It's like, guess it wasn't that bad. And then, so my dad, still to this day, he doesn't use a diaphragm call. He just uses one of those easy bugles, or it's actually the one that he uses specifically called a bullet bugle. And it's got a reed at the end. It makes it really easy. But the difference is it sounds a little bit more whistly. It sounds almost a little bit like a whistle. And so you can obviously tell. Like if I heard that in the woods, I'd know that was a hunter. I'd know that wasn't a bull.
Yeah.
But I can tell you the elk don't know because I've heard my dad, and I have videos and I could show you elk after elk after elk responding to him calling with that bullet bugle. So it doesn't have to be perfect.
I guess elk are probably just like people. You got smart ones and you got dumb ones, and they're just
Probably.
like, what that sounds like a, yeah. That's funny. Well, I have learned much about elk sitting here in a short period of time.
I don't really think that was necessarily the intent to have a full episode just on elk, but it's definitely been fun.
Hey, this is the daily carry, dude.
It's true.
You are daily carrying in the woods today.
It's on my mind, dude. I got that elk rush. I got it in my blood. I got that
You got your back up,
hunting fever.
357, right? You got your bow. I mean, that's your daily carry when you're in the woods.
Yes, it is.
You're out there praying.
And the bugle, which by the way,
Ford
mine
bugle.
is a walnut edition.
Oh, is that right?
It's a riven walnut bugle. I would have never bought that for myself, but my wife bought it for me for Christmas or something. It is a cool bugle.
So it's not that plasticky thing that Eric was hitting me with?
No, Eric's got a plastic one. It's safe to hit people with. Mine would probably hurt a little more. It's a
Yeah.
little bit more like Buford. But
That's great.
yeah. Well, the last episode we had Brett on, Brett with LifeSpot, Brett Titus, and that was an awesome episode, man.
This is very good.
And I haven't been able to stop thinking about LifeSpot, man. And I haven't been able to stop thinking about the importance of the mission with LifeSpot. It's just really got under my skin, man. I just think that it's really made me think, how can we do more to try to help promote LifeSpot, man, and the mission? Because what is it about? It's about saving kids. It's about saving people, saving families. That episode and the whole and Brett's attitude about it, man, and his kind of humble approach behind it, that just speaks volumes, man.
Yeah.
It's just that cannot be overstated. The world that we're living in right now, with how many people are out there with evil intent, we got to have people that are willing and able to step up and be that person, be that layer that steps up to the plate and says enough is enough.
Yeah.
No more. And
It's I've known Brett for quite a while, and it was a great episode. And I really encourage anybody that's not heard it, episode 26, right? Just the heart behind this thing, the call. Can't say enough about it. The reasons. I know a lot of the backstory that did not come out in the episode that maybe we'll 2.0 one day. I don't know. Whatever he's comfortable with. But there's story after story after story of the why of the development. And you just said it, with the world the way that it is, and protecting the kids. And this is not a, I guess there's something that occasionally I can get really down on society when I look around in everything that's happening, especially we've had several episodes where we've talked about the binary stuff and the trans and how the wokeness is just really, it's just absorbed the world to the point it's just in so many countries. But every once in a while, there is something that happens to where I go, and it's almost metaphoric in nature. It's not something that I'm honing in on, and I want to be very clear when I say this, that this is not like some life-changing event. But you see the good come out in humanity to defend against the stupid or the evil or the bad. Did you see the lady with the baseball? They're calling her Philly Karen now. She was wearing the Phillies jersey. And there's a home run that goes into the stand. This is like 4 days ago maybe. Goes into the stands. The ball hits, so it's her, and I guess it's her husband. And there's a few empty seats, but like the ball hits near where she's at and kind of bounces away from her. And there's a dad and his got to be 10-year-old boy maybe is over here, and he gets up and goes over and picks up the ball. Now, nobody else moves. I mean, you watch the video. He picks up the ball, goes back and hands it to his kid, and his kid gives him a hug. And out of nowhere, here comes this woman. And like it's just like at full tilt running at him, gets in his face. And there's like 7 camera angles of this. When it originally broke, it was just the MLB view of the home run. But now there's like all of these actual cameras where people were sitting like right next to where this happened, from like behind the side. And you can hear everything she says, dude. Everything. And she unloads. And you just go, and she's talking about it's her ball, and this, she later puts out a comment like he had a glove. If the kid wanted to catch it, he should have been a man and gone over and gotten the ball. But the ball never touched her. The ball, it wasn't like she reached up and grabbed it and dropped it, and the guy came over and swiped it. Mm-hmm. The ball just hit a seat nearby and bounced towards him, and he picked up the ball. But because it was 2 seats over from where she was sitting, she somehow owned the entire stadium. And she goes over, and she rails this guy long enough that he finally says, here, take the ball. Get away from me and my kid, right? So this is all captured, all of this. It goes viral in the entire world. Just like the Coldplay Kiss Cam thing went viral instantly with a couple where they ducked out and they hid and they ran. There was a dude just prior to this Philly Karen thing that went over and swiped. Did you see the guy swipe the hat, the autographed hat, out of the kid's hand? And there's a story of this dude. He's like, I don't know how true it is, but immediately there was a story of this guy. He's a super wealthy dude. People knew him. And there was somebody autographing hats. And I think it was at a baseball game or a tennis match, something. And went to hand it to this kid. And he just reaches up and jerks it out of this guy's hand and takes off running with it while this kid's standing here in dismay going, what just happened? And then this Philly Karen thing happens like the next day, to where you just have these adults, dude, that are like just in the face of kids, just like making, here she is.
Yeah, I pulled up the video because I had to see this. I haven't seen this, okay?
Yeah, so she is like, she loses it on this guy, man. I mean, she is like literally, and this goes on and on and on. This is not a short period of time. So she goes back over, and then they show the replay. So what has happened here is now they've cottoned onto it in the stadium. A rep from the stadium comes down, gives this kid a prize pack. Then they take him down below. The guy that hit a home run comes over, signs the bat that he hits the home run with, gives the kid, and now it's up to, I don't know how many different things have come to this family, but what has happened is this woman,
she touches him.
Oh, dude, it's physical.
What?
And so,
dude.
But here's the crazy part. So there's a band, and I don't know the name of it. We can look it up. There's a band that has this same woman doing the same thing at a concert. I think it was with a T-shirt or a hat, where she goes over and jerks it out of somebody's hand, and they find this. Like, it was on their footage. And when they see this, they're like, hey, this looks like the same woman. And it is. It's the
same woman?
Same woman. Totally different event.
Dude.
So this thing has just taken off. Well, so she puts out a statement, and the apology is, hey, I'm really sorry that this kid wasn't good enough. I'm paraphrasing, so don't sue me. I'm really sorry this kid wasn't good enough to catch a ball. He had a full-grown glove. He's practically a man, and that's the problem in today's society. Is we're not. She literally says we're not raising real men to go out and fight for themselves. So the world went out on behalf of this kid and decided to start fighting for him.
How are you going to say that? And whenever it's a dad giving his kid the ball, like that's just a dad doing something a dad would do.
It's so
like,
dude, it is blown.
Here they're getting interviewed.
Yeah, it is blown up now.
And, I mean, let's be honest though, she does look like a Karen.
Oh, she is.
Is her name Karen?
I don't know. So she has gone viral. The world is now, of course, turned on her to protect this kid, and they're just
look, I didn't see that angle before. Did you see that? Look, she tries to stop him right there. Look, here it is right here. She tries to stop him. She's reaching for the ball. There's a whole swarm of people coming in for the ball, okay?
Yeah.
It's any man's game at this point. He grabs it. She's like trying to reach for him.
Yeah.
Clearly, she's following him.
Yeah.
That's my ball, sir.
Excuse
me, sir. Yeah. That is my ball.
Yeah, he technically, I mean, it's not an assault, right? I mean, she's just touching him. But, I mean, technically, you don't put hands on somebody, right? And so it's gone pretty crazy viral. So she puts out this fake apology and then blames the kid in the apology. So now the world has doubled down on her. The point of the whole story, 6 minutes ago, whenever I started, is it brings hope that people will still see good. Like they will stop and they'll go, you know what? Not on everybody's watch. Like this, it's just a ball, but you acted in such a way that everybody can get behind it and say enough. And so when I look at when I take that all the way to the depths of what Brett has created, I want the world to get behind one, every school in America and every church to have this, because it is really, it's a legitimate life-saving tool. It's simple. It's an app. It's 3 seconds, swipe and hold. You've alerted everybody we're off to the races and we're saving lives. And if we can get this kind of traction on a baseball, we should be able to get this kind of traction in the schools where every superintendent, every parent, every teacher all go, holy cow. Like this is actually a game changer. We've been waiting on a game changer. This is a game changer.
Yeah.
And it's that good. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole episode talking about life support, but I do think it's important that we do discuss what's happening in this country. When you see stuff like this that goes viral, or the Kiss Cam Coldplay thing, or the dude that I still can't believe the dude with the hat too. It's almost the same thing, except for he actually jerks the hat out and takes off running, like from the kid.
Wow.
And you're like, what? Like, did you just do that? So, we're weird right now. The country's awkward. It's weird. We're going in a lot of directions. We're divided. But it does bring me hope when I see stuff like this, that people go, you know what? This is dumb.
And I think that is a perfect way to give kind of an analogy of LifeSpot, is it's giving people the means to actually do something good. Because how many, I believe, and I think that we both would agree, we both want to believe that most people are good. There's more good than bad.
Sure.
And there's more people that would stand up and say we need to protect our kids, and people say we don't need anything in the schools. We need to just let our kids fend for themselves and let the teachers do their things. And hopefully there's more people than not that would say, no, our teachers should be capable. Our school systems should be more than capable to keep our kids safe. It's got to start there. If we can't keep our kids safe, nothing else matters. So I'm going to tell this quick story, okay? And this is just a few days ago, probably a week ago. I taught a jiu-jitsu class, and it was one of the best jiu-jitsu classes that I've ever taught. Not saying that I am the best instructor or teacher in the world. I'm not trying to, toot my own horn or anything, but I am telling, in retrospect and in reflection of all the classes that I've taught, the reason that I would say that this was one of the best classes, if not the best class that I've ever taught, it's because I had 4 people in that class, brand new, beginners. 4. Most of them are pretty big, capable, athletic guys.
Oh, I know the story. Yeah.
4 brand new guys, white belts, just getting started, first class, right? And I had one other guy in the class with me, and that was my little cousin, Cullen. And Cullen is a smaller guy. He's probably like 150 pounds. And he's a pretty decent blue belt. And he's been doing this for a little while. And it was a really good opportunity at the end of class that I was able to capitalize on. Because I went from I didn't just, let's qualify and clarify. I didn't just throw anybody into the deep end. I don't want anybody to ever think that. I wouldn't do that, first of all. I want people to actually enjoy jiu-jitsu. And I don't want them to just have the old school treatment of, well, here, let's fight to the death,
You
because
don't set people up for failure. That doesn't help.
Well, that's how they used to do it.
Right.
In my day, that's how they did it in my day.
I went through
there
it
were
too.
so many few people who stuck around to do jiu-jitsu because of it. But I think that there's a different approach to take, not that it's watered down or it's lesser, but I think that there's an approach that you can take that lets people start in the shallow end rather than just throwing them in the deep end. And that's really what we did, is I walked them from the beginning to the end. What is jiu-jitsu? It's the gentle art. Why is it the gentle art? Well, here's the best example. Hoist Gracie going in to fight UFC 1, very first UFC ever. Guys literally trying to prove themselves as the best, the baddest in the world, fighting pretty much almost to the death. No holds barred, almost no rules at all.
Yep.
And you have Hoist's dad so confident in jiu-jitsu that he tells Hoist, I want you to win, but I don't want you to hurt anybody.
Yeah, don't hurt anybody.
And that's exactly what Hoist did. He beat everybody without hurting them.
Yeah.
That's the best example that you can give to people. What is jiu-jitsu? It's the gentle art. You don't have to be the aggressive one to be the one who has the victory.
Yeah.
You don't have to match aggression with more aggression.
Right.
You can approach aggression, the most aggressive, even bigger, stronger opponents with coolness, calmness, and collectedness with your training to where you can neutralize the threat in a smart way rather than a hard brute force way.
Right.
And so I explain all that, and then I teach some mount escapes. I teach some other concepts too, but I teach some mount escapes. Mount is a position where somebody's on top of you, you're laying on your back, and they're on top of you. And think about like if you were riding a horse on a saddle, right?
Yep.
You've got your knees on the ground, you're pinning them to the ground.
And that's a bad place to be if you're on the ground.
Absolutely. And that's where I really like to start pretty early on with teaching new people, because whenever you're first starting jiu-jitsu, you're going to spend some time on your back. So I like to teach people how to escape bad positions and then how to recover their guard and eventually even get back up onto their feet if that's what they would like to do. But learning to fight off your back, hugely important. So we started there. We taught some mount escapes, more than just one option, just so that they had it. And then at the end of the class, I said, okay, guys, I want to do something. You guys are all brand new, okay? Cullen is a blue belt. If any of you here can manage to hold Cullen down for longer than a minute, 30 seconds, whatever it was, then you're going to try to hold me down. I'm a black belt. Nobody held Cullen down.
Right.
Cullen escaped. Like all the bigger guys, stronger guys, right?
Yep.
Escaped. And I said, okay, guys, if you're comfortable, the next thing we're going to do is Cullen's going to mount you. And if you're okay, then I'm going to let him try to go for submissions on you. And here's what a submission is. Anytime that you get in a position where you're uncomfortable, and I said, and keep in mind, I'm going to watch, because if you're in something and you don't know what you're in, I'm going to make sure to tell you, oh, he's got you in a submission. Be ready to tap. I'm going to make sure to walk you through this. I'm going to hold your hand through the whole thing, so to speak, right?
Sure.
So, of course, these were younger athletic guys, so they were all kind of, peer pressure. They're like, yeah, well, we'll do it. Let's do it. Let's do this. So Cullen mounts all four of these guys, obviously not at the same time, but one at a time. Cullen taps all of these guys out.
Sure.
150-pound, young dude, 20 years old, taps out all these grown dudes. And I told the guys, I said, guys, this is a blue belt. You can attain a blue belt level in about a year of training consistently 2 to 3 times per week.
Yeah.
All you have to do is commit to training, and you can be here where you're worlds ahead, where there's somebody where your life might depend on it. Somebody doesn't know jiu-jitsu, but you know at least this much.
Yep.
And it could save your life. It could save your family's life.
Sure.
Where you know how to respond in a cool, calm manner, and you're able to neutralize the threat. For me, that was it didn't even have to get to black belt level, because I told them, guys, I've been doing this for 14 years. Blue belt level can be attained in about a year. That is the most powerful expression, and I think that one of the most powerful classes that I've taught, because it's just that light bulb moment of like, whoa, I could just do this for a year. If I just commit to a year, I can be at this level where I am a very capable individual. I like that, and I bring that story up because it relates so well with LifeSpot and the conversation we had with Brett, as well as the conversation that we're beginning to have now on this episode. Is you have to be capable. That's where it has to start. It's not that I'm a black belt, so I go around and I beat people up.
Right.
But I'm a black belt and I'm prepared and I'm capable if something were to ever happen on the street.
That's a Jordan Peterson statement. We talked about that.
Absolutely.
You got to be capable of doing this.
100%.
Yeah.
That is where your morality comes from.
Sure.
Because if you're not capable, then you're not good.
Right.
You're only good if you're capable of doing what needs to be done and you control that. You're in control and you're disciplined.
So I want to ask you a question, because this is a great transition for what Brett has created in LifeSpot. But the physical element, you just brought this up. So Cullen's down here, taps these 4 guys, bigger, stronger, blue belt. I don't remember if it was Rogan that said it or Jocko or John Danaher or Chris Burns, but one of the four or somebody of that notoriety said, if you're a legitimate blue belt, you could take 90% of the people on the planet.
Oh yeah, that's 100. I completely believe in that.
Okay. Because Joe Rogan, I know he was asked once, and somebody said, why do you take jiu-jitsu? And he says, because I can kill you with it.
Well, I remember because that meme has gone viral. What's the practical use of jiu-jitsu?
Because I can kill you with it.
Well, if you and I were in a fight, I would kill you.
Yeah. And what's funny and sad at the same time is people hear that and they take it literal, even though it can be literal, but they take it as, oh, you're just out there to do that. It's like, no.
How many people has Joe Rogan killed?
None.
None that we know of.
None that we know of. None. And I'm confident that at the end of the day, what he's implying, the way I received it, and I would hope everybody would receive it, is this is a peaceful art. But you have the capability. Hence, Hoist Gracie, who's been on Joe Rogan explaining UFC 1 how many times, to the point of his dad saying, I want you to go out there, but I don't want you to hurt anybody. But you're going into the competition, the very first competition of its kind, where the baddest people on the planet are trying to prove they're the baddest people on the planet, and I want you to take it easy on them.
Yeah.
That is a magnificently huge statement. So I look at that, and I look through the lens of, and I swear I think it was Dan Hurd that said it, because I read a lot of John's stuff. I really respect him. I don't know a lot about jiu-jitsu, but I learn a lot from him. I think he's a good man. I think he's probably one of the best on the planet. When you have that capability as a blue belt, a legitimate blue belt, a year in, you're really getting after it, half a year in after you got your blue belt, like you're legit, like you really know what's going on. I've been tapped, I don't know how many times by guys like that, white belts. I've tapped brown belts before. Brown belts hold me. I mean, you're going to have your lucky day. You're going to get something, right? But a legit dude that knows what they're doing is just going to work you. The thing that I love about jiu-jitsu is it's physical and you can save your family's life. The thing I love about LifeSpot is all you have to do is carry a cell phone and hit and hold a button for 3 seconds. Mm-hmm. And you are going to save potentially hundreds of lives.
Yeah.
That is a totally different deal, equally as important, if maybe not more important in the grand scheme.
Yeah.
Because one-on-one, I need jiu-jitsu. 1 on 1,000, I need help.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that our schools are taken care of. And we've got a product that is sitting out there. Everybody's arguing over guns and all this different stuff. Look, they ain't going away. The cell phones aren't going away either. So take the tool that you got, research it, call somebody, get a promo video, get something done where they show you how this thing works and put it in your school system, because it is that good.
Yeah.
And I said it on our last episode, and I'm going to say it one more time. Former SWAT, former medic. As a medic, I'm going to save lives. As a SWAT, I'm going to stop the threat. I trusted the gun in my hand, the guy next to me in my training.
Yeah.
This is the first piece of technology that I have ever seen that I look at and I go, that's a game changer for how we do business.
Yeah.
Now, I'm retired, and I understand that. But it doesn't change the fact of understanding the concept of it. Mm-hmm. And it is that good.
As controversial as it is, and you and I have our own opinions on teachers being armed and having guns and all that, I think that teachers should be some of the most trained individuals on the planet. That's what I truly believe.
I think we should be hiring ex-Navy SEALs.
Oh, yeah.
To be teachers. Honestly, I really do.
No doubt. And there's a lot of people that obviously are not going to agree with that. And that's fine. I don't agree with you, but whatever, to each his own. But surely we can all agree that there should at least be the level of training where people can have LifeSpot, teachers can have LifeSpot on their phone. And that's the least that they can do to be prepared to protect kids, is to know how to use this application to make sure that they're doing their part in keeping the school safe, keeping the kids safe. And that takes almost nothing. And I really think that one of the biggest ways we can really start to see that implemented more in schools is hopefully just people listening to this and other platforms, parents. Get together some other parents and talk about LifeSpot. Get some petitions signed. Go to your school board meetings.
Yeah.
And tell the school, get the attention on LifeSpot. Say, does our school, what's our safety protocols? Do we have LifeSpot? Why don't we have LifeSpot? Let's sign a petition. Let's get as many people as possible to say, let's get this in our school.
Yeah.
Why? Because why not?
Yeah.
It's probably never going to happen in our lifetime where we actually see schools adopt teachers having some type of formal combat experience training.
In Israel, you do, and you know what they don't have over there?
What?
Active shooters.
Oh, yeah. Well, they do, but I'm saying here. I'm saying here in America, we probably won't see it.
Yeah.
And we probably won't see teachers being armed with guns. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. It probably will happen in Texas. I don't know. We'll see. But it's not happening most likely. And we're a pretty far cry from that happening in Colorado. I can tell you that much. They're basically trying to sabotage our schools. They're definitely not trying to help our schools.
Right.
So what can we do? Well, as parents, I guarantee you that if people start getting together some petitions and saying, put at least LifeSpot. What is the argument against LifeSpot being in a school?
Right.
I can't think of a single one.
There's not, and we've been down this road so many times. I mean, there's arguments for cameras expenditure. There's arguments for metal detectors expenditure. There's argument for, I can go on and on and on. It's an end user app that's pennies on the dollar. It's pennies on the dollar. And bandwidth on it, 5,000 end users for the bandwidth of one YouTube video. I mean, it's just, I could go on and on. And then people say, well, but you work with this guy. You've known this guy. Like, you're out repping this thing. I am. Do you know how much money I've made off of it? Not one penny. If I never made a penny, ever, I can sit back and tell you I would continue to endorse, stand behind, and say that every school in America needs this for the safety and the well-being of the kids.
Yeah.
The students, the parents. Period.
Mm-hmm.
It's that good.
That's the problem, though. That's the problem with America is clearly people don't really care about anything like big corporations, all that stuff. It's all motivated by money, which is
and
disgusting.
I'm okay with making the money. I am perfect. No,
Well,
here, please hear me.
I can understand
You're not
that.
in business here at the gym to not have a living.
Absolutely.
Nobody gets up in the morning and says, I'm going to go donate 40, 50 hours a week up to my job or whatever this thing is and not get anything out of it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I believe in this thing to the level of fill in the blank. I don't know how many classes I've watched you give to people as a trial run, right? Like, hey, come in and try jiu-jitsu. I do the same thing in self-defense all the time. It may or may not be for you. I don't know. I hope it is. But this is not for me, it's not so much a financials as it is a how do we get this in the hands of everybody because it works like that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
nothing is foolproof, but
that's the thing
it's
is
amazing.
I think it's going to be the end users, the people who have the value in this, because think about it. It's so valuable. I'm not saying at all whatsoever that it's not valuable. It's so valuable that it's invaluable. You can't put a price on it, on this. You can't put a price on keeping the kids safe. You can't put a price on keeping churches safe, hospitals safe. That is something that just needs to be done. And I think that the way that we hopefully continue to help Brett and help LifeSpot and help the mission, help save lives, is just more people putting the spotlight on LifeSpot, is parents that care about their kids, because we know in Colorado it's not the government who's going to care about the kids enough. It's going to be the parents. It's going to be the ones who love the kids. It's going to be the ones who actually want to see the system change and want to know I can go to work and not have to worry about getting some lockdown alert on my phone that I have to worry about my kid all day.
Yeah.
We can. It's literally within our hands right now. It's within reach right now to just start promoting. Go and sign a petition, say, let's put LifeSpot in the school. Let's do it because we can't afford not to do it.
Well, we've also, one of the things that I tell parents when they ask me about this thing, the app specifically, I'm like, look, if you can text, you're already light years ahead of how to use the app. Because all you got to do is hold a button for 3 seconds. You don't even have to move your thumbs. All you got to do is swipe and hold. And we're off to the races. That's it. If that's the least you do, you can do that. The interesting thing in it is we put all of this emphasis in. Well, so I'm gonna go direct for a second. I'm not gonna name the school district, but I can tell you I know of a school district that whenever there is a security or safety issue that has happened, something that compromised something to where they have to respond because it's of public opinion now, every email I've ever gotten always said safety is our top priority. And I go, no, it's not. I can prove it to you in your line item budget. I can prove it to you in your training. It unequivocally, without exception, that is not true. It should be true, because if you're not safe, then what matters after that? We can educate all we want. We can train all we want. We can have all the greatest sports programs. And we should. The kids should be empowered to learn. The kids should be empowered to play. They should have music. They should have drama. They should have theater. They should have all of these things available to them, especially on the tax dollar that is going into these school systems. But if you can't do it safely or have the ability to know that you're protected on some level better than you are now, and we're talking pennies on the dollar to do it, then something's wrong. And that bothers me a lot. It's always bothered me when there's a tool that is sitting out there and it's the best tool for the job, but we're going to go down the road and we're going to spend all of this money on tools that are very complicated and hard to use. This is as simple as holding a button, 3 seconds, done.
Yeah.
It is that challenging. I mean, I don't know how to make it any easier than that. And people will go, well, that's amazing. We should. So it's just for the active threat, like the killer. Yep. Man, we should do it for medicals. No, we have 911. We have medic kits. We have AED. We've got all of that stuff. This is for one thing and one thing only. And the reason it was designed that way is it's not complicated. It's easy. It's here it is, focus, done. Period.
Yeah.
Man, I wish we had more of it. I wish we could simplify so many different procedures in life with that type of simplicity. Insurance, medical. I mean, there's just so many things that I would love to see streamlined that are so costly. And this is so not costly, totally streamlined. And yet I'm sitting back going, why is this not viral everywhere right now? And it's in a lot of states. It's in a lot of schools. It's in a lot of agencies and a lot of places. If you listen to the last podcast, I think Brett named off a bunch of them. But I personally know being connected to them. And it is one of those things I would love to see everywhere. It's just that it's absolutely necessary in today's society. We just saw it in the last shooting, Minneapolis. Will the app stop it? No. The app alerts you to what's happening. It stops the next thing that is going on. Brett, I think he just told a story in here. Somebody saw somebody in the parking lot, at a school parking lot with a gun, hit the app, and the cop that had just been on the property was leaving the property, turned around and came back, and the guy was in custody in under a minute.
Yeah.
That's unheard of. I mean, in my world, in the law enforcement world, I'm telling you, that's unheard of. By the time you get the call over the radio and respond and turn around and look it up, instead, he's just looking at a map. Whoop, there's where the guy's standing.
Yeah.
Bam, done, in cuffs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you made the comment about Israel, right? There's you don't hear about school shootings in Israel, which
they're at war, and you don't hear about it.
The point is that whenever you have armed teachers, it's anywhere. The places where there's the most shootings is where they're the gun-free zones, where people know that they're easy targets, sitting ducks, right? I think that the same psychology behind that, over time, it would most likely compound. We would see less school shootings because people know that life spots in schools. I think that people would know, well, the response time is I'm not really going to get very far. I mean, obviously, there'll be other protocols as well. I think that having the on-site law enforcement officers is and will go a long way as well. But if they know over time, well, this is what life spot's done, it's completely changed the landscape of how we react to mass killers.
Right.
I believe that that's the potential of what this is it could literally 5-10 years, whatever it is, maybe less, where it just changes the psychology, where we see less and less of this because it's the same kind of a principle. You don't see these mass shooters, these mass killers going to places where they know that there are guns.
Well, so they all have one thing in common that I have found, and this is an Micah study. I did it on my own. I'm not taking any stats. You can pull them up, and I think you'll quantify what I'm about to say. They all have one thing in common: they don't want to get caught. They don't want to get caught. They don't mind shooting, and they don't mind shooting, defenseless victims. I don't know. Maybe a couple of them went to jail, but I think all of them off themselves or they get shot.
Most of them, yeah.
Right? So they're not afraid to die. They just don't want to get caught. And that's a key, because if you're walking into an environment where you now know, let's say you got a school of 1,500 kids and you got 200 / teachers, administrators, security, et cetera, all on an app that will tell everybody where the shooter is inside of 3 seconds, you're going to get busted and you're going to get caught so fast. It's got to change the dynamic in at least 2 different ways. One, it's going to change the dynamic that you're going to be afraid to walk into that school knowing full well that now you're going to be confronted and people are going to know where you're at. And that's the thing about the app is as soon as somebody swipes and holds that thing, now we have the proximity of where this shooter is at.
Yeah.
That's the starting point. What a lot of people don't realize and that are out there are like, dial 911, where are the cops? Oh my gosh, the cops got on the scene. Why didn't the cops get into the school fast enough? Well, it's one thing to have a single high school in your district or in your community.
Yeah.
And you're a 12-man agency and you work with that high school all the time. Come to Douglas County, Douglas County is an average-sized county. We've got 375,000-ish people. I don't know how many schools. I think there's 105 total schools in Douglas County. So do the math. How many cops are going to know all 105 schools? Remember all the multi-floored, multi-classrooms, multi-hallways, multi-labels, different schools, right? Now all of a sudden you have something that on GPS just takes you to an arrow within a few meters of where this person is reported to be, with constant updates coming like that. That is game changer 101 if there ever was one.
100%.
So now 911, what's your emergency? Oh my gosh, I'm in the second grade hallway at school. Okay, we have officers en route, except for the officers are going, where's the second grade hallway?
Right.
Now all of a sudden you're just going, oh, there's the second grade hallway. Now you can look at it and there's a big old fat symbol right in the middle of the screen and you're tracking the bad guy.
Yeah, that is massive.
It's huge.
Huge improvement.
It's absolutely huge. Yeah. It's the on the humorous side. I mean, we're talking about something dark, but Ron White, the comedian, I always go back to comedian jokes because they're funny to me from the standpoint of when they use these analogies. Ron White says, I got thrown out of a bar and 6 guys came outside and lined up around me. He goes, now I don't know how many it would have taken to whoop my butt, but I know how many they were going to use. And I start laughing at that joke because I'm like, now all of a sudden we know exactly what we have and how many people we're going to use. We're going to use them all.
Yeah.
All.
Yeah.
It doesn't rely on one person seeing something and dialing 911 anymore. Now it's that one person swiping the button and 200 people inside that geo-fenced area all seeing it and immediately going into action.
Yeah.
Within 3 to 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
I
can't go from here to the coffee shop in 3 to 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a phone.
I don't know if you really tried hard.
I bet if I jump the mezzanine, I could make it. I'd break something. But everybody's got a phone, and that's the key because it's an app on a phone.
Yeah,
and nobody leaves home without their phone.
No doubt.
I mean, 10-year-olds have them now. So
no doubt. Well, as we are wrapping this up, there's no excuse. LifeSpot is something that we can all do, that we can all use, that we can all get behind and help and support and rally behind. But there's also more for anybody listening. This is the Daily Carry. Get out there, train.
Yeah.
Do jiu-jitsu, do something hard today that makes tomorrow easier.
They're probably hearing it in the background.
Oh, you are. Watch. I'll pan to the camera one more time before we close out. We will be closing out, and we've got some training behind. I'm excited to go talk to the guys and catch up a little bit with some of them, and we'll be here, the Rock Jiu-Jitsu team. If you're nearby, if anybody listening is here nearby, come train with us. Come say hi. Catch some classes with us, whether it be self-defense, jiu-jitsu, whether it be just come hanging out with us. Happy to be here and help you with your daily carry.
And one thing to add, we got some stuff coming. We're not going to announce it right now, but we got some stuff developing that's going to be launched out of this place that's going to be epically cool, that as we move forward is really going to create an environment, a home, a community, a following. And a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about is going to be brought into it.
Absolutely.
A lot of tentacles going in very, very solid directions right now. So it's not just coming down on jiu-jitsu and self-defense. It's actually some of the direction we're going, and we'll be delivering more of that through video and whatnot.
Started with snakes, and you said tentacles, so let's say a better word for those who are a little squeamish around snakes and tentacles. Branches.
I'm sorry, a tree of life.
There you go.
That is rooted.
All right, well, I'll close this out, sir.
All right, sir.
Lord, thank you for another opportunity to sit down and to talk, to have a conversation. We're so thankful, Lord. You are so good. Even in a world full of problems, we know that you are and you will always be the solution, Jesus. And we point, we turn, we give everything back to you, Lord. We want to make sure we're doing everything that we can to shine your light, Lord, and to lead others to you, Lord. We thank you for your goodness, and we ask you to go with us and be with us today and throughout the remainder of this week. We pray for every listener that you would be with them, and that you draw us all closer to you and let us walk with you, Lord. We put it in your hands. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Till next time.
Till next time.